I think 2023 is a pivotal year for the sector because last few years we saw the struggle of catching up with demand while meeting with the challenges about attrition. I think what we are seeing this year is an excitement coming back because from a demand space perspective, you still have a massive unfinished digital agenda amongst corporates. The digital and cloud journey is not done. There is a lot of runway left. On top of that, you have excitement coming from generative AI. And generative AI, not just from the perspective of innovation, but fundamental productivity across domains. So there is a massive opportunity. There is also a parallel challenge because in the environment, most of the corporates want to cut costs. So there is almost more large deals, but with very different economic structures. So from an IT service provider perspective, there is a dual challenge of there is a massive new growth opportunity, and how do you catch on to that? But how do you create a margin structure which is sustainable in the run when you want to win these large deals, and what kind of cost measures you need to do? I think there is a third part which is not yet fully grasped, but people are beginning to grapple with it, is with generative AI coming in, what is the next form of an IT services or a business services company? What it means for developer productivity, for traditional customer relationship companies. And that revolution that will happen with this new wave of generative AI, I think would be a very exciting chapter. It's not just a cost chapter, but a very exciting chapter in terms of the kind of services you can provide. So I think 2023 will be pivotal in terms of IT service companies that adopt these two sort of almost parallel modes of preparing for tough few years on cost while catching on to the growth. I think you'll see almost a bifurcation in the sector of the ones who can catch on to the wave and the ones who get left behind. I think what I love, and having attended the conference today, is the fact that you have so many different perspectives coming together. So it's not just an IT service provider perspective. You have academicians, real life practitioners, you have CEOs, but also executives working in very specific domains. I think that diversity, both in terms of the backgrounds but also levels, is very exciting because you get a much richer picture of what's really going on in the sector. And it's just wonderful to meet friends, colleagues, customers. So from that perspective, very refreshing after last 2 years of a lot of Zooms and Teams. So I think, as I said, work predominantly with technology providers, both IT services and also core tech players. And I think right now, the big topic on the agenda are the ones that I described earlier in terms of there is a fear of recession, and there is an element of what is the best way to prepare, because our research shows that actually successful companies innovate the most during recessions. They literally create the distance between themselves and their competitors. So how do you create this resilient company that doesn't just protect itself but thrives in a tough time, and be building a modern bionic organization, a modern enterprise on top of the technology trends which are awash right now. We had cloud, IoT, digital, and now generative AI. And this builds a very exciting template to build a modern organization. So I think those two are the big topics of reshaping the organization and making it more resilient in the short term.